Finally. Finally. This moment in UFC had to be the most hated of all time. So, guys, even though I'm skipping through everything, all the quarterfinals and semifinals, I do like to talk about this moment before. And like I said before, guys, I'm trying to talk about the non-fighting aspects first before talking about the fights itself. So after the semifinals came to an end, and then there was also a non-alternate title bout, which I would call it a dark match, which was Jason DeLucia, which he was in an alternate fight defeating Trent Jenkins by a rear naked choke, which that would happen often. And even though no fighters pulled out during the tournament, because it did stated that if a fighter in the tournament was injured, he would pull out, and Trent Jenkins or Jason DeLucia that was there that day that were in the tournament would be the replacement for any of the fighters that were hurt. But that was never the thing. So, and the fight ended in 52 seconds. So if people have footage of that fight, let me know in the comments, because I really want to know if there's footage of that fight. Because I just want to know. Because as for the referees that were there that night, I think you can already tell why I went to find the footage, just to see what the referees were doing at the time and how the fight ended due to that moment. It was only 52 seconds long. But yeah. So, but after the alternate bout was over, we go live to a Gracie member named Helio Gracie, a jiu-jitsu of the family name of the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsus. And then we have Rory and Gracie. Well, we have Rory and Gracie out of nowhere with a microphone. He's holding on to a plaque. Rory and Gracie is holding on to a plaque in his hand, talking to the mic. And the first thing he says when he actually says this, and I quote, "What's the oldest question in the history of combat?" And then barely a tiny bit of the audience goes, "Boo!" The crowd, boo! I laughed my ass off. This guy, Rory and Gracie, was giving us a question, and all part of the crowd went, after he said that, booed. And then he says after this, "The Ultimate Fighter, we have to pay our respects to acknowledge the accomplishment of a pioneer warrior." And the crowd, more of the crowd, boos. The crowd just disrespected it. It's like, keep this in mind, guys. We're in America. We have Brazilian people inside an octagon in Denver, Colorado. The crowd boos. I don't want to say that's disrespecting, but dude, like watching that footage today, it was just so messed up. And keep this in mind, after he goes for 65 years ago, the camera cuts to Royce Gracie and the rest of his members of the Gracie putting their hands behind their backs, like representing their father and everything that he accomplished, and the crowd is disrespecting. The fans want to see fights. They don't want to see someone being commemorative of a plaque. It was so funny, but I just felt bad about this. And Rorian is trying to commemorate his father for everything that he did. Any challenge, he's putting everything, talking about the fighting style, every challenge he went through. And then And then he comes out. He says that this is what he shows. He holds a plaque. He says the fighting world respectively addresses him as the Grand Master Lou Great. Pardon me, I just can't stop laughing right now. As the Grand Master of Edu Gracie from Brazil. And then the crowd applauds. For some reason, 1 minute they were booing and now they're applauding. I just don't understand. and Hellion Gracie finally puts his hand up and just thanks everyone for the applause. So, and at this moment, people think that they're done. But no, Rorion continues to talk. His brothers call him father. Therefore, with much love and respect, that he presents that this commemorative plaque to a new Gracie, the first Ultimate Fighter. So he gives him this plaque, and yeah, with everything going on. And then when fans think that the talking's done, Rorion continues. Rorion continues to talk, saying how we are very proud to be here tonight. We hope you enjoy the show. And this is what real fighting is all about. The crowd boos again, and then they cheer again. You don't know how hard this is for me to talk about. And of course, the translator would say how he's glad to be here tonight and talk about in the 65 years for everything he's went through. And then, of course, Hellion talks saying that how he's very proud to be here. And then everyone walks out. The crowd finally applauds at the end. So at the end of the day, the moment wasn't that stupid. We would have some fans getting up and applauding, and some fans are just applauding on their seat, just saying, just get us out of here. We just want to see the final match. I was just really shocked. But at the end of the day, the crowd booing wasn't that much of a problem. But yeah, there was moments in time when you think to yourself that this crowd, like that night was just something, like it was just crazy enough looking back at this footage after a long time. It was shocking.